Welcome back, everybody, to week 2, day 3. Got an interesting question on Instagram from someone who messaged and asked me about something related to pain and injury. And it was an interesting question, so I wanted to answer it in this video as best I can in the format of like a less than 3-minute video. But it was how to deal with social influences on pain and injury. So, for example, let's say you're going for a walk, and this is the same example that this person gave who messaged me. Let's say you're going for a walk and your back hurts, and then your friend looks at you and says, "Oh, I've had that pain before, it's probably a disc herniation." When you get these influences from social relationships, and they can be from friends, family, people in the same sport as you, colleagues, professionals, anybody, any relationship that you have in society, they will probably try and help you by giving you this information, but most of the time it's actually pretty unhelpful, and sometimes it can be even damaging. So for that example of saying, hey, you probably have a disc herniation, there's a whole set of beliefs that many people have about disc herniations, and they view the lumbar spine or the spine in general as being in some way special or different than other joints in the body, when it's not. It's just another joint in the body. And that's just one example. But really, how do you deal with these social interactions that we have with people when it relates to pain and injury? Well, honestly, the best advice I can give to anyone who's dealing with this and they're getting all these influences from friends and family and maybe even professionals is that there's already a ton of misinformation within the pain and rehab field already, and it just further muddies the water by taking secondhand information from people surrounding the narrative about an injury. So the best advice I can give to somebody who's dealing with pain and injury and they're getting all this information from multiple different sources, don't listen to the narrative. Do not listen to any narrative that anyone gives you about your pain and injury unless it's a professional who's working with you that you trust and you believe will help out. Instead of focusing on the narrative, completely ignore that part of it. But maybe try out some suggestions they have on things that can help you get better. Because in the vast majority of cases with musculoskeletal diagnoses, especially as it relates to like the lumbar spine for disc herniations and stuff like this, a lot of these things are asymptomatic anyway. A lot of people have them who have no pain. So the diagnosis doesn't matter as much as the things you do to help you feel better. Focus on the rehab portion, don't focus on the diagnosis, because even with people who may be symptomatic who have these diagnoses in conjunction with it, we know that's not the sole cause. And we also know that it can represent in many different ways despite the diagnosis. So don't focus on the diagnosis, only focus on what can help you feel better. Anyways, thanks for listening.